What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I don't do a lot of talking in my videos, so I thought I would maybe do a little bit during this one to kind of let you know what I was doing, what I was focusing on, what I was using, stuff like that. So yeah, let's just get into it. You can see I got one there. Let's talk about the gear first. So what I'm using is a 7.4 favorite rod. It's the White Bird. A really good rod for drop shot, Senko fishing, small square bill, stuff like that. It's a medium. They say it's a medium heavy moderate, but it's more medium fast. Just a really nice rod for drop shotting. I've got it paired up with I can't remember what reel that is. I think it's an Abu Garcia. And then as far as line goes, it's Cabela's Braid 8-pound yellow with an 8-pound copolymer leader. My leaders are usually about, I try and keep them about 15 feet. Just join them with a uni knot. Seems to work really well. Got it with a 1/2 ounce drop shot weight, VMC drop shot hook. And the worm that I was using today, I think, was a treat worm from Crazy Hick Bait Company. Just a little 4-inch. They seem to really like it. This spot that I'm fishing, I'm on top of a big flat, or really it's a big hump. This time of year when the water's down as far as it is, it's about 4 feet deep on top of this. But then it drops off real quick along the edges. And so I'm just kind of throwing around the edges, throwing around the top, and just trying to see what I can come up with. You can notice it looks like it's foggy out, but that's smoke. We've been just devastated with fires in this area, and a lot of the fires from California, Oregon, a lot of that smoke, along with the fires that we had here, kind of blew in and made things pretty nasty out for quite a while. I think about fishing this time of year. Drop shot's a really good way to catch them on this particular reservoir. And all I'm doing is really just casting it out. And you'll see me shaking it there a little bit. I'm just kind of shaking the line, the slack in the line, right? Weights on the bottom, you're shaking the slack of the line, just make that worm on the end there dance. And they have been just chewing on this rig lately. You'll see I throw over to my left there, and it's kind of coming down. It sinks down to about 20 feet, and so I just kind of work it back up that slope. You'll see I run into a good one here. I keep looking down at the graph because I put side imaging on the trolling motor itself, and that's a little bit of a point of argument. Like, some people hate it up there, some people love it up there. I've really found it's really useful in locating those pods of fish off of either side of the boat. And this day I used it a ton, where I would just kind of cruise through an area, find a pot of fish, I'd mark them, and then get back off of them and cast to them and catch them. It's not quite as good as things like Panoptics and Live Scope or 360, but if you know how to use it and you have a good enough graph to give you a decent picture, it can be a really good combination and an easy way to find some of those fish that you might just pass by normally. As far as graphs go, I run 2 Garmin EcoMap 73 SV Pluses. I really like these graphs. They've been some of my favorites that I've used. I ran Hummingbirds for a few years before this, and ever since I switched to that Garmin, it's just unbelievable how good those graphs are. I really enjoy them. Yeah, there's a close-up of me. was just marking the GoPro there, so I know where to go back and pull that footage out. I got to remember to do that more often because it takes me hours and hours to go through all that video when I don't mark it.
This little pod of them there.
Re-rigging up. It's the secret sauce, as my son calls it. Nothing secret about it. It's just chartreuse dip it.
You know, and when you really figure it out,
some people swear by it. Some people hate it.
What you're seeing.
For me, I think
graphs,
it gets me, 2 or 3 more bites every day when I go out.
Very, very efficiently.
I swear by it. I think this stuff is fantastic.
Case in point, this section here, I just saw on the side.
Again, just tossing it out, kind of working it real slow, just giving it little jiggles. And
there's probably, I don't know, I guess
this particular spot.
And I'm just going to end up catching them all.
I don't think this one's on that flat, actually. I think this is a spot that I found back in the corner of that flat. I was side imaging through there and saw like 6 or 7 of them on the graph. They were about, 40 or 50 feet away. So I marked them, came back behind them, and I think I caught all of them, plus a few. No real giants, but some decent little fish. This is a fun day. I'm going to drop this video soon. This is, what are we going to call this one? Fishing in a fire. I probably caught,
you just hope that
probably over 50 fish this day. There wasn't very many boats out. It was pretty much just me and 5 or 6 walleye boats.
Somewhere.
It took a little while, trial and error, over the course of a week to try and figure out what they were doing and what they were eating. They were doing really doing some damage with the drop shot. Nico rigs were really doing well as well. But then the weekend before that, it was all Carolina rig. So kind of had a mix of both rigged on and kept getting bit here and missing them.
Come on.
Just kept grabbing the tail. I think I get him eventually. The spot I'm sitting in, I think it's about 8 feet where I'm sitting, maybe 6 to 8 feet where I'm sitting. And they're sitting in about 16 feet of water, just potted up. So now I go to a big Senko Neko rigged. I think it's got a 3/16 ounce weight in the head of it. Just letting it sink down to the bottom, and then just working it real slow back like you would a standard Nico. This is just a Magnum Senko and not your standard Senko. A buddy of mine turned me onto this a while back, and it's a fun one. Got some really, really good fish on it.
Oh, that's a big one.
You see there, first cast, I get him.
That is
I only had that one, and I ended up losing that one later on in the day, which made me angry, so I got to get some ordered.
And these are the ones you're hoping for. I'd be surprised if this wasn't 4-pounder.
I'm not sure what I'm talking about there, but this is a pretty good fish.
Sure was fighting like he was.
Nothing huge, but decent.
Another 2-pounder.
Caught a lot of like 2.5 pounders in this spot.
He's probably.
It gets to be this time of year. You think about the fall transition, and it hasn't quite happened yet. It's probably close now at the time of this video. Water temps were still, about 70. And some of them were kind of in that fall transition where they were grouping up and feeding real hard, and some of them were singles, and they were just kind of roaming around. Ended up finding another spot here. I think it was the following week. That was just absolutely loaded with them. There's a little, I don't know if it's a tree or a fish box or what it is down there, but just absolutely loaded with them.
Go live.
But when I'd find
More
them,
quick time.
I'd find them in, you know, 6 or 7 fish groups, and we'd just end up catching them all. And it was like this pretty much all day. I went live here on Facebook for a little while. So I was setting the phone up. And again, just kind of
What's up,
working
guys?
that Nico along the bottom.
Uh,
I think he comes back and eats it again.
Golly. I don't know how
Messing
many
it
more
well.
fish are in this,
I've got that rigged up on
but
a 7.2 favorite white bird,
I am
medium heavy
absolutely lighting
moderate.
them up.
Again, it's more of a medium fast with an Ardent
Found,
Tournament Series
On the
reel
side
on it.
imaging, I caught a glimpse of
12-pound
what
copolymer
looked like
on a little
there
Nico
was
hook.
probably 5 or 6
Again, a Magnum Senko,
that I saw anyways.
O-ringed with a 3/16
Um,
ounce nose weight. Seemed to be a really good combination.
And
Got down to the bottom quick enough. Kind of stayed there. There, we got a good one on. Well, not a good one, but we get a decent one.
they keep coming off.
It kept falling off, and I wasn't sure what was going on, so I kind of set the hook a couple of times on that guy.
Got him that time. Oh my gosh, that was
It
a
just
huge
keep falling
one.
off. Part of that is I think that
I don't know if
rod
you caught that,
in
but
particular is a little too
that was a big,
soft.
big old fish.
Works pretty good for you know, smaller square bills, jerk baits. Not so good
Found this little pod
trying
here
to
on the side imaging.
drive a real thick hook through.
It looked like there was probably
There's just too much tip on this one to
6 or 7 decent
not give
fish
you a
in
good
it.
firm hook set.
I've caught 6 or 7 already, and
But it's what I had in the boat, so I used it.
I keep getting bit. So there's a bunch in this little pod.
We go back
One
to
that
the
I
drop
just
shot
missed
here in a
was
few
a-
minutes, I think.
Really big fish.
Stuck him that time.
There's one. That's a good one.
I was pretty amazed, though, how many fish were in this little pod. I think on side imaging I could see 5 or 6 of them, and I think I caught,
Phone's gonna die for
I don't know,
sure.
7 or 8 out of that hole.
Phone's gonna die for sure, but I figured I'd go on and just see how many I can pull out of the spot while I was live. It's just about 45 feet out there, and I am still marking fish.
The water this time of year can be pretty dangerous. A lot of these little sandbars
Clearly.
are just barely under the surface, and
Got it.
boats all the time
Oh.
get stuck running where they shouldn't run and beach themselves. I mean, I was guilty of that earlier this year.
Another really good one.
Beached myself going about 35 miles an hour. Luckily, I was able to push myself off, so it wasn't a big deal, but pulled a guy off about a month ago,
Another good one.
and he was absolutely buried up
Oh,
there.
and the worm's gone now. No!
I think I lost my Senko on that one, and so I go back to, I did. So now I'm all,
a backup
my
plan.
plans are all hurt.